Grimwick the Demon Cat. Book 3, The Tournament. Chapter 22, Closing Ceremonies. The ceremony was grand and short. Head Mage Turnbill placed a medal around Penelope and Red's neck, spoke some words, and ushered everyone into the next room, where drinks and hors d'oeuvres would be served. Norbert followed the excited crowd and was relieved to see Professor Nickel and Vine were in the chamber. Nickel was busy chatting with a few dignitaries, while Vine hovered behind Penelope and Red, making sure none got too close. The other contestants were being congratulated by guests. A few patted Norbert on his back as he passed by, but most of them left him alone. Norbert poured himself some punch and rested his back against the wall. Him and Grimwick were relatively left alone until Januarius Bog, the Crimson Mage himself, broke away from his group. He pushed Arthur forward, his fingers dug into his son's shoulders. My, Norman, your cat is certainly impressive. I don't know if I've seen a summon capable of magic like that. Must be a rare breed. How much? What? Norbert asked, confused. Januarius clarified. How much for the cat? Arthur should have never lost to someone like you. That cat was clearly an unfair advantage. Arthur would be a much better mage if he had a crutch he could lean on. Don't be coy. How does 10,000 coins sound? Arthur's face was now red with embarrassment. Norbert looked to Grimwick. This was what Grimwick wanted, to be tethered to a stronger mage. Even though Norbert won, Arthur was clearly more powerful. Grimwick seemed to be smiling. This was the opportunity Grimwick had wanted. What do you say, Grimwick? Norbert asked. Would you like Arthur to be your summoner? Grimwick's smile continued to widen until it broke into laughter, which caught all three by surprise. I'd never be tied to such a weakling. Are you kidding me? Look at this snot-nosed face. Yeah, I think I'd rather be tied to a rock. Grimwick continued to laugh. Even if Arthur and his father couldn't understand the words Grimwick spoke, his laughter was apparent. Even still, Norbert clarified with a smile. He's not for sale. The Crimson Mage's face furrowed. Shame, but probably for the best. It would have been more embarrassing to have our family bring this filth of a cat into one of our many homes. He twirled his robe and retreated back to the party. Arthur pointed his finger in Norbert's face. You got lucky Vine let you cheat by bringing in your cat. You're still a loser. Arthur waited for a retort, but Norbert said nothing. But Grimwick gave a response. Oh yeah, if we're losers and you lost to us, what does that make you, a double loser? Arthur retreated back to his collection of friends, who all sulked in a corner together. Grimwick looked up at Norbert. Fine, I guess I could have come up with a better insult. Now come on, let's get some real food from the kitchen. I'm starving. Norbert smiled. Thanks, Grimwick. For what? Grimwick replied. You could have had Arthur Bog as your summoner just now. He's the top mage in our class and the most popular. His family is made up of powerful and famous people, and yet you picked me. Grimwick stopped. Oh, don't get sentimental on me, Blubber Boy. This was a logical choice. You beat him, therefore you're better than him. Now, if Pigtails or Mophead came to their senses and wanted to partner up, I'd leave you in the dust. Norbert smiled. Okay, whatever you say, you big, scary, heartless demon. Grimwick bickered as they walked. Oh, you better believe I'm heartless. Hey, don't smile like that. I'll claw up your robes tonight. For Penelope, the whole ceremony and banquet all happened so fast. 1 minute she was in a heated match with Red, and the next she was being crowned champion by the head mage. And now she was facing a sea of dignitaries, all shaking her hand and giving her compliments. She was grateful to have Professor Vine standing over her and Red by her side. The questions and comments came so quick, Penelope didn't even respond. Ice magic in your only first years. Your hammer was amazing, so creative. I wish my daughters were like you two. How did you fly like that? Vine cut in. Okay. The students need some rest now. It's been a long day for them. Professor Vine walked them towards the hallway that led them back towards the academy. I'll take it from here. You two did well. Enjoy your celebration. Ask the chefs for a champion's feast. Tell them Vine ordered it. You both deserved it. Penelope smiled. And what about the other contestants? Vine eyes narrowed. Yes. You can extend it to the others as well. But if you invite Mr. Soot, make sure the cat stays off the table. Can we do more private tutoring with you? Red asked. Vine's eyebrows raised. It will be after hours and even more grueling than your previous training. If your grades slip, I'll cease the training. Penelope and Red exchanged glances, nodded and replied in unison. We wouldn't have it any other way. A small crack of a smile appeared on Vine's face. Very well. We'll just need to make sure that this tournament hasn't gone to your heads. Vine whisked away, and Penelope watched as dignitaries approached Vine, bowing with respect and maybe a little bit out of fear. When they got into the hallway, Arthur was leaning against one of the walls. He seemed to be waiting for them. When he saw them, he ignored Red and approached Penelope. This whole tournament was kind of stupid, huh? Penelope shifted. I rather liked it. And you did well. Arthur huffed. But I didn't win, so it was pointless. Penelope offered. Just an opportunity for us to learn next time. Arthur sighed. Norbert said something similar. Penelope looked skeptical. Norbert said that? Arthur said no, but when I tried to buy his cat, he practically laughed in my face. Red snorted. You tried to buy Grimwick? That's hilarious. Arthur swirled. No one asked your opinion. And can't you see we're talking now? Now go back to whatever weird cave you crawled out of. Red was about to yell, but Penelope put her hand up. You can stay, Red. Whatever you can say to me, you can say to her. She's my friend. Arthur laughed. Oh my gosh. So now you're hanging out with the two biggest losers in school and the creepiest professors? You better be careful. They'll start calling you a freak too. Now come on, let's go. Penelope didn't move. No, I rather like Red and Norbert. Even Professor Vine and the weird-looking cat. It's you I'm not so sure about. Arthur paused. What do you mean? Penelope said, I realize this relationship is rather one-sided. I think it's best if we give each other some space. Arthur whined. Oh, so you can hang out with Weird Girl Crybaby and his rotten cat? Penelope paused. Or maybe it's so I don't hang out with you. Arthur hissed. All the other students are going to make fun of you. Penelope stepped closer, opened her palm so an icicle formed. And if they do, I'll stick their tongues to a frozen pole. Red stepped in. Boom! You tell 'em, Blue. Nicely done. Say bye-bye, pretty boy. Tears started bubbling in Arthur's eyes, and he scurried down the hallway. Penelope sighed. It's not what I wanted to say. It's not how I thought this relationship would end. After the last of the dignitaries had left, Headmage Turnbill invited Professor Vine to his office. His assistants were not in, and he was rummaging through one of their cabinets. They always keep something in here. Here we go. And he pulled out a jar of tonic. He gestured to Vine, who waved him off. Turnbill shrugged and took a swig. We did good out there today, Vine. Our largest donation event in years. And it was just first years competing. Vine offered a light smile. I'm glad you feel the tournament was a success. Turnbill pointed to the jug. You should be proud. We even got requests from a few kingdoms. One of them even requested our students in particular. That surprised Vine. Top apprentices would shadow on an assignment, sure, but any field work was typically done by master mage students or faculty. I hope you're seriously not considering sending out first years into the world alone? Pfft. No, the assignments were ceremonial at best, and I'm sure some we can upcharge to master mage levels. And regardless of master or apprentice, they'll have faculty members with them. Vine thought for a moment. I fear some of these students aren't ready. Today was a real wake-up call to see where their skills fall, and others far exceeded. One kingdom asked for Penelope Crest, Red Rideau, and Norman Moose in particular. Should be good experience for them. Vine did not like the sound of that. Surely you can't be serious. Those are all first years. Miss Crest and Miss Rideau have potential to be master mages, but in time. And the same kingdom asked for Norbert Soot? That can't be right. The one with the cat? Yes. The heads of state found him and his cat charming. It will be a good experience for them for sure. And who knows, Vine, you might even become a celebrity after this. I don't want Vine started. Please, please, Vine. We can talk tomorrow, but tonight, I've got a date with this bottle. Vine saw herself out and walked down the quiet corridors. She did not like the idea of sending first-year students out into the world, particularly Norbert. Him and that cat are far too unpredictable, and always manage to find trouble. She came to an overlook where she could see one of the academy's courtyards. Students and professors were bustling around with whispered excitement. Music was faint, and the stones bobbed to the beat. Some of the dorms must be hosting celebrations tonight. She watched as they all moved around. She spotted Penelope and Red, each dressed in their best. Probably off to a party. Penelope was in a regal, shimmering dress that was reminiscent of a mermaid. Red was in a dress that was patched together in various fabrics and a tutu that sprung around her like an umbrella. Both styles suited them, and they were laughing as they walked. Shortly after, Norbert and his cat came into view. The cat was complaining about something and Norbert was laughing, which only seemed to rile up the demon more. At this pace, they'd be late to their detention by 2 minutes. She'd let it slide tonight. Vine stood there for a few moments longer, appreciating the bird's-eye view of the halls, just as the energy of the moving persons stopped, and Vine was about to retreat back to her own corridors. One person came skulking out of the shadows. His dark cloak did not cover his spiky hair. It was Arthur Bogg. He looked as if he had spent the rest of the day crying. Losing to his rival must have been a larger blow to his ego than Vine would have guessed. He stormed out towards the nature trail. Vine could not help but draw the similarities. Most weekends, Norbert would sneak out into the woods to escape the sounds of celebrations he was not invited to. She wondered what Norbert would have done tonight if he had not been serving detention. Would he celebrate with his classmates, retreat into the woods himself, or even extend a hand to his enemy? That cat was always predictable, hot-tempered, singularly focused, but Norbert seemed more fluid and full of surprises. Vine wondered for a moment if Norbert could become a master mage after all. On an outlook overlooking the sea, Arthur Bogg pulled out a forbidden text from his cloak. He hunched over the summoning circle as he traced in the dirt and mumbled to himself. My father says I need a crutch, huh? I don't need a stupid cat. Stupid Norbert. How could he beat me? I'm the greatest mage to have ever existed. Family embarrassment? Me? I'll show them. I'll show them all. He muttered some spells and a crack of lightning struck the circle. A small cyclone of fire began to spin. Arthur kept the flames under control and focused inside the circle. When the flames died out, Arthur smiled. Yes, I've done it. Let's see who the weak one is now.